welcome once again to the podcast and YouTube channel of Jaden Zander. Tonight on The Midnight Man with Jaden Zander, two more stories of encounters with the Pontianak will be featured. Without further ado, let us now welcome Jaden.
Very good evening, Friday evening that is, to all of you out there, and once again welcome to The Midnight Man with Jaden Zander. And I'm Jaden, and tonight, of course, I have stories for you, two more stories. This time around is with regards to encounters with the Pontianak, and these stories were told to me way back then when I was young. And it involves two of my uncles who had first-hand encounters with the Pontianak. And without further ado, let us go to story number one. The first story is about this uncle of mine, and I shall name him Chi Aman. Alright, and back then when he was younger, he loves to hang out with his friends, and he was staying with his family at around Marine Parade area, which is very close to the East Coast beach. And almost every day, he will hang out with his friends at East Coast Beach, and being young, and and the house being very near to East Coast makes it very convenient for them. So on one particular night, as per normal, he was out with his friends, hanging out at East Coast Beach and walking around the beach and chatting and all that. So at one particular point of time, while they were walking along East Coast Beach, from afar they saw this duck was heading towards them, and without thinking that anything is amiss or anything is wrong, they ignored the fact that there was a duck walking towards them in the middle of the night. So they continued on chatting, walking, laughing and all, and this particular duck was quacking away. And as they approach this duck, it seems to just walk past them. And after a while, after they pass by this duck, suddenly they heard, all of them, right, heard that there's this sound whereby something is flying, as if like wings flapping. So they thought, oh, maybe the duck flew away. But all of them turned to look towards this sound that they heard, and to their horrifying encounter, they actually saw that the duck, it was no more a duck. The duck was actually a Pontianak. The duck transformed into a Pontianak, and this Pontianak was flying away up towards this coconut tree that lines the East Coast beach. So all of them, scared, they ran away from that particular beach. And what I heard is that they did not spend time at East Coast Beach after that particular encounter, right? And that is encounter number one, whereby a duck transformed into a Pontianak. And that was story number one. And well, you imagine yourself in that position, But when kind of weird when you see a duck on the beach, especially at night, because I don't know, all my life I've never seen a duck on the beach before. I mean, walking on the beach, lah. And well, just tell me, if you encounter such things, will you run? Oh, yeah. Well, let us go now to story number two. And for story number two, this one revolves around another uncle of mine who also likes to hang out with friends at night. But this time round, it happened at a very new housing estate back in the 80s. All right, and well, this new estate I was talking about is in Tampines, actually. And back then, when they moved in to this particular block, a new block in Tampines, there were about 4 to 5 families who just moved in. So imagine all the other units are empty. And to tell you a bit more about those old flats or old block right here in Singapore, there are lifts actually, and the lifts will only stop at level 1, level 6 and level 11, unlike now whereby all the lifts will stop at each level. And also the lift, there's only one side of the block where the lifts will stop at. All right. So for my uncle, he was staying at level 8, and from level 6, he had to walk across this long corridor all the way. Then he have to go up 2 more flight of stairs to level 8. That is if he were to stop at level 6. If not, he will have to stop at level 11, whereby he needs to get off at level 11, walk this long corridor to the other end, and take a couple of steps down to level 8. So on this particular night, my uncle, he went up to level 6 to go home, and for what I gather, for what I know, that it was after midnight, right? It was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So he went up the lift, and to make matters worse, this uncle of mine, he's a scaredy cat, okay? Too bad lah, have to inform lah. So he went up to level 6, and he have to walk this long corridor. And to make matters worse, like I've said earlier, all the units, most of the units actually, are empty. All right. So he was walking along this corridor towards the other end of the block to go up 2 more flights of stairs to level 8. And once he passed by the last unit before he turned right to go up the staircase, you know what he saw? He saw at this particular unit, it is an empty unit, by the way. He saw that there is this being, this lady, wearing white, with long hair, standing at the front door of that particular house. And he did not see the face, okay, because this being was facing the door. And he knew that it was a Pontianak. He was so scared that he ran up the staircase as if like he was chased by a dog. And once he reached level 8, once he reached the front door of the house, he did not even take out his keys to open the door. He just banged on the door, and my late grandma opened the door and asked him what happened. He went into the house and he explained what he saw to my late grandma. And my late grandma actually told him, yeah lah, come back late some more lah, do that more often lah. And from that day onwards, from what I know also, that he did not come back late at night, or late after midnight, that is. So that is the second story where my uncle encountered a Pontianak in a new housing estate. And those are the 2 stories for your entertainment on this Friday night. Well, I'd like to thank you once again for being here with me on my YouTube and podcast channel, The Midnight Man with Jaden Zander. And do come back next week where I have stories to tell. And also do subscribe, like, share, and comment if you like this channel. So till I'll see you again next week, you take care and stay safe.
That is the end of tonight's show. Once again, thank you, and come back next week. Till then, I am Ghost.